Hi everyone, this is Craig Griffin from Culture Kitchen, and today I'm going to talk about sustainability redefined. This is one of the 7 themes from our new book, 7 Ways that COVID-19 will shape the future of brands. Now, of course, sustainability has been a hot topic for many years and a key focus for businesses, but we believe that the pandemic will both re-energize the sustainability movement and redefine it. And I want to start by sharing with you a heartwarming story from Thailand. So 2 or 3 months ago during lockdown, there was a story that broke about these rare lockerhead turtles that were returning to Thai beaches in record number to lay their eggs. And this was a really powerful story because it showed us that when we stop our usual activities as humans and we allow ourselves to coexist with other species, then the earth and nature can heal itself and other species can thrive too. And this is increasingly an important issue. So we're learning now from scientists, as we encroach into the habitats of other species, we can expect future pandemics, perhaps ones that are even worse than COVID-19. Now, sadly, our heightened concern for the environment is trumped by our own need to keep ourselves and our families and friends safe. And we see this by the rise in the amount of plastic consumption. So, for example, when we order our takeaway food to eat in the relative safety of our own home, that comes wrapped in plastic and using disposable cutlery. Of course, all the personal protective equipment that we're using, the masks for example, a lot of it is disposable, and we're now seeing that washing up on our shores. Now, one of the main impacts of COVID-19 has been to restrict the movement of people and goods, and this is causing every country around the world problems in one way or another. And I'll give you a couple of examples. So Singapore, 90% of food eaten in Singapore actually comes from overseas. So of course, when supply chains are disrupted, this causes a huge problem. And so based on this weakness, the Singapore government have decided that in future it needs to grow more food locally, and there are now initiatives underway for urban farms to supply more food. Another example is Thailand. Now, 15% of Thailand's GDP comes from tourism. So when a few months ago the borders were practically closed and no tourists were coming in, there were certain places in Thailand, for example like Phuket or Samui, where businesses were really struggling because they were very reliant on tourist trade. And this is pushing millions of people in Thailand under the poverty line. And these examples both have in common the pandemic creating vulnerability within countries. And countries all around the world now are looking to decrease this vulnerability, to redesign their economies and their societies to be less reliant on international trade and be more self-reliant. So what are the implications for brands? Well, firstly, with the economic challenges that lie ahead, there are many more vulnerable people in our society. And brands have been doing wonderful things to help people during this time. And this looks set to continue. So people will expect more from brands, and brands will be viewed increasingly in terms of whether they're having a net positive impact to society. The second main implication is around brand planning, and brands increasingly need to be looking at longer term business models based on these redefined sustainability principles. So that was Sustainability Redefined. You can read more about that theme and the other 6 themes in our book, which is available for free by downloading on our website.